behind the polished exterior of adult careers lies a brutal daily grind. Whether trapped in endless corporate reporting under harsh fluorescent lights or buried in unpaid invoices inside a tiny rented office, every path demands a heavy toll. Today, we expose the unglamorous reality and true operational cost of career choices. For Marcus, the corporate framework brought clear structural guarantees. On the 25th of every month, his salary deposited like clockwork. He didn't have to worry about where the company's next client was coming from or how rent for the building was paid. The corporate infrastructure provided top-tier tools. Marcus worked on enterprise-grade software, had an IT department to fix tech crashes, and enjoyed full health coverage for routine medical checks without dipping into his personal savings. Clear job boundaries meant Marcus had defined responsibilities. He was hired to manage operations, not to do accounting, legal review, or office cleaning. Specialization allowed him to focus exclusively on executing his assigned quarterly targets. Institutional credit opened doors easily. When Marcus applied for a mortgage, banks approved his loan within days based on his corporate status, senior manager title, and steady employment record. Paid leave was a real, tangible benefit. Marcus could take a planned 5-day vacation with his family, knowing his baseline pay remained unaffected and colleagues covered his basic operational duties. Julian chose small business ownership to escape institutional gatekeeping. He didn't need 4 levels of management approval to test a new idea or launch a project. Freedom meant direct execution speed. Earning potential was tied directly to his own sweat. When Julian landed a $10,000 client project through sheer hustle, the profit belonged to his small business, not a distant board of directors or shareholders. Julian built a flat, intimate team culture. Working alongside 2 junior staff members in a small office fostered deep camaraderie and a shared sense of building something from scratch. Autonomy over daily choices gave Julian energy. If he needed to handle personal errands during the day, he didn't have to fill out HR request forms or ask a manager for permission. Every small victory felt deeply personal. Winning a client pitch against larger competitors proved his real-world value, validating his decision to step out on his own. But corporate reality quickly turned into a soul-crushing routine. Marcus spent 4 hours every day in repetitive alignment meetings that resolved nothing, filling out tedious status reports that no one read. Middle management squeeze was relentless. Marcus was caught between aggressive upper management KPI demands and disengaged team members who resisted extra work, forcing him to absorb friction from both sides. The inbox was an unmanageable monster. Marcus received over 200 emails daily, requiring him to stay logged into corporate messaging tools long after official office hours just to avoid falling behind. Office politics dictated career survival. Marcus had to navigate delicate interpersonal egos, corporate posturing, and credit-stealing colleagues rather than focusing purely on work quality. Skill stagnation set in quietly. Marcus became an expert at navigating internal company software and corporate bureaucracy, but lost touch with practical, hands-on market skills. Meanwhile, Julian faced the harsh daily realities of running a small business. He wasn't just the founder. He was the janitor, accountant, HR manager, and tech support guy all at once. Demanding clients caused constant misery. Clients demanded endless revisions beyond agreed scopes, called at late hours, and delayed payments for months while expecting immediate response times. Cash flow management was a daily nightmare. Every month end brought panic over paying office rent, software subscriptions, and the non-negotiable salaries of his 2 young employees. Managing a small staff carried heavy psychological weight. When a junior employee made a costly mistake on a project, Julian had to fix it himself while absorbing the full financial damage. Boundaries between work and personal life completely vanished. Julian worked 14-hour days, 7 days a week. Even when away from his desk, his mind was constantly preoccupied with business survival. Despite the monotonous routine, Marcus built solid financial stability. His steady income allowed him to systematically pay down his mortgage, maintain an emergency savings fund, and invest monthly into index funds. The corporate predictability provided a secure anchor for his family. Marcus could comfortably pay for his children's dental care, school activities, and routine household expenses without financial panic. Managing corporate teams refined Marcus's communication skills. He learned how to handle workplace conflict, write precise business documentation, and present complex operational data clearly. The steady paycheck funded care for his aging parents. Marcus comfortably covered medical checkups and private care supplements for his mother without straining his monthly budget. Over years, Marcus learned to survive office politics by maintaining clear emotional boundaries, keeping his head down, executing his core tasks, and leaving work stress at the office door. On the other side, Julian was gaining immense operational resilience. Solving daily business crises made him hyper-adaptable, quick-thinking, and entirely unfazed by unexpected operational problems. The pride of hands-on creation was undeniable. Every client delivered, every project completed, and every dollar earned came directly from his team's grit and execution effort. Direct relationship building was a core asset. Julian formed authentic, long-term trust with small business clients who valued his personal accountability over cold corporate agency services. Flexibility allowed Julian to adapt service offerings overnight. Unbound by corporate red tape, he could quickly shift pricing, test new services, or drop unprofitable client offerings immediately. Julian developed deep self-reliance. He knew that regardless of market shifts, he possessed the practical skills to generate income from scratch without depending on an employer's permission. Then, an economic downturn exposed structural vulnerabilities. Marcus's company suffered severe revenue drops, leading executive management to announce sudden, aggressive department cost-cutting measures. Marcus realized his single-source dependency risk. At 38, having devoted 15 years to one corporate career ladder, his entire livelihood depended completely on executive decisions made behind closed doors. A real-life crisis hit simultaneously. Marcus's father suffered a sudden medical complication requiring specialized long-term care, introducing unexpected out-of-pocket medical bills. High fixed overhead created extreme rigidity. Marcus's heavy mortgage, vehicle loans, and household bills required a large monthly cash inflow, leaving him zero flexibility if his corporate salary was cut. Market irrelevance became a terrifying reality. Updating his resume, Marcus realized his managerial skills were hyper-tailored to internal company processes, making job hunting in a tight market difficult. For Julian, a major operational crisis struck. His main client, who accounted for 50% of his agency's monthly revenue, abruptly paused their retainer contract due to market pressures. The small business liquidity trap closed fast. Outstanding client invoices were delayed, but immediate fixed expenses, office rent, software fees, and staff payroll were due in 5 days. Desperation led to toxic client work. To survive, Julian took on underpaid, rushed projects from difficult clients, forcing his small team to work grueling 16-hour shifts under terrible terms. Personal finances collapsed into business operations. Julian was forced to drain his personal emergency savings to cover his employees' salaries, exposing his household to severe financial risk. Extreme fatigue caused physical health breakdowns. Chronic sleep loss, cheap takeaway meals, and relentless financial anxiety triggered severe stomach ulcers and persistent headaches. The axe finally fell for Marcus. During department layoffs, his senior manager position was eliminated to save costs. He was handed a severance package and escorted out of the building. Pride and loss aversion caused severe psychological denial. Marcus delayed cutting household expenses, terrified that changing his lifestyle would publicly signal professional failure to neighbors and peers. The financial clock ticked down relentlessly. His severance package depleted rapidly under heavy fixed mortgage payments, non-negotiable insurance bills, and ongoing medical costs for his father. Job hunting at 38 proved brutal. Marcus sent out dozens of tailored resumes weekly, facing automated rejection emails and age bias from younger recruiters seeking lower-cost hires. Decision fatigue paralyzed his mind. Marcus spent days endlessly calculating burn rates and remaining runway, leaving him emotionally withdrawn, irritable, and unable to take decisive action. Julian faced a devastating leadership moment. Unable to secure new client retainers, he had to inform his 2 young employees that he could no longer afford to pay their monthly salaries. Fixed overhead crushed what remained of his business. Unable to pay lease costs for his small studio, Julian had to terminate his rental agreement early, incurring severe penalty fees. Tax debt created acute crisis. Having mismanaged cash reserves during lean months, Julian received an official government notice for unpaid small business back taxes and immediate interest penalties. To keep basic operations alive, Julian resorted to high-interest personal credit cards, trading short-term survival for long-term compound financial strain. Both men hit rock bottom in their chosen career structures. Marcus trapped by lost corporate identity and inflexible living costs, Julian crushed by business debt and severe cash flow failure. Marital strain reached breaking point for Marcus. The abrupt loss of financial security created constant defensive arguments with his wife over household spending and immediate lifestyle cuts. Humiliation dominated Marcus's daily state. Having tied his self-worth to his executive title for 15 years, being unemployed left him feeling stripped of status and ashamed in social settings. Panic attacks invaded his sleep. Marcus lay awake at 3 a.m., calculating how many weeks remained before he would be forced to liquidate his retirement accounts early under severe tax penalties. Bitter regret set in. Marcus realized he had traded 15 years of youth, health, and personal agency for an institutional safety net that vanished the moment corporate profits dipped. Fear of further status loss paralyzed Marcus. He hesitated to accept mid-level job offers or freelance gigs, frozen by the psychological pain of stepping down from his former senior manager title. For Julian, imposter syndrome turned into deep self-hatred. Struggling through business failure made him feel like an incompetent fraud who had foolishly chased an unrealistic entrepreneurship dream. Emotional isolation was absolute. Julian couldn't tell his family the full extent of his debt for fear of causing panic, nor could he share his failure with business peers out of professional pride. Heavy guilt crushed his spirit. Having laid off loyal employees and accumulated business debt, Julian carried a painful burden of personal responsibility for everyone who had trusted his business. Severe burnout destroyed his cognitive drive. Without physical energy or creative focus, simple client tasks took 3 times longer, compounding his sense of operational paralysis. Both men confronted their darkest emotional moments. Marcus felt stripped of corporate validation. Julian felt crushed by independent failure. Both had paid a devastating price for their rigid choices. Survival demanded radical changes. Marcus swallowed his corporate ego, abandoned status expectations, and aggressively cut his household spending to match his new financial reality. Marcus adopted a pragmatic hybrid strategy. He took a part-time corporate operations job for steady baseline income, while offering specialized freelance management consulting on the side to build multiple income streams. He downsized his living overhead permanently. Marcus sold his large suburban home and expensive lease vehicle, moving his family into a functional townhouse with significantly lower monthly costs. Marcus decoupled his identity from corporate titles. He no longer viewed himself as a senior manager, but as an independent operator offering valuable practical execution skills directly to the market. He built a true liquid safety net. Before making any future investments, Marcus prioritized accumulating a full 6 months of liquid cash in a high-yield savings account to absorb future shocks. Julian completely restructured his business model. He permanently eliminated physical office rent, shifting to a 100% remote freelance setup with 0 fixed monthly space costs. He eliminated client payment risk. Julian stopped doing custom project quotes with delayed payment terms, requiring clients to pay 50% upfront, retaking small, manageable, standardized service packages. Client concentration limits were enforced strictly. Julian capped client revenue so that no single client accounted for more than 15% of his total monthly income, protecting his agency from client loss. Non-negotiable work boundaries were established. Julian set strict working hours, shutting down his computer at 6:30 p.m. every day to protect his physical health, family relationships, and mental sanity. Both men found balance in a realistic middle ground. Marcus added freelance flexibility to stable baseline employment. Julian added disciplined financial buffers and risk controls to self-employment. True career security is neither the false promise of corporate employment nor the unbridled romance of entrepreneurship. It is the disciplined balance between low fixed overhead, diversified income sources, and real market skills. What hidden operational price are you paying for your current career choice, and what steps will you take to protect your freedom? Share your real-life experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.